Hello, my dear friends. Today I'm talking about the decans of Sagittarius. And we have Mercury, Moon, and Saturn, each of them with 10 degrees. Let's start with decan 1, ruled by Mercury. This Sagittarius is curious, communicative, and mentally agile. Mercury sharpens the Sagittarian love of travel and learning, creating a strategic thinker with a taste for discovery. What are the main traits? Intellectual curiosity drives adventures, loves learning languages and new ideas, good communicator and storyteller, quick thinker, adaptable and inventive. But they need to learn to explore ideas and the world with a clear mind and propose, and to not scatter energy through too many pursuits at once. Let's see how planets are working in this first decan of Mercury between 0 and 10 degrees. Sun in Sagittarius expresses identity through curiosity, exploration, teaching, and the pursuit of meaning. In this decan, the Sun blends with Mercury's intellectual spark, producing lively, witty, truth-seeking individuals. Their leadership style is inspirational, humorous, and rooted in ideas. The challenge is avoiding dogma or scattered focus. Mercury in Sagittarius rules this decan and expresses itself through big ideas, philosophical thinking, storytelling, bold communication. This placement produces natural teachers, speakers, writers, guidance, and visionaries. The mind leap ahead, connecting patterns, future possibilities, and broad principles. The challenge is to stay grounded and clear, avoiding exaggeration or over-promising. Moon in Sagittarius seeks emotional fulfillment through freedom, inspiration, knowledge, and new experiences. Inner peace comes from movement, learning, and staying mentally stimulated. Emotional fluctuations may be tied to restlessness or a desire to escape routine. Venus in Sagittarius expresses love through playfulness, curiosity, honesty, and shared adventures. Attraction is sparked by intelligence, humor, and philosophical alignment. Relationships thrive when there is freedom and open-mindedness. Commitment comes through shared growth rather than control. Mars in Sagittarius acts with directness, bravery, enthusiasm, and intellectual fire. Action is fast, bold, sometimes reckless, but always idealistic. This placement favors athletes, entrepreneurs, adventurers, and anyone who channels passion through movement or mission. Jupiter in Sagittarius here expands wisdom, inspiration, teaching ability, and charisma. Growth comes through travel, education, philosophy, and mentorship. This decan produces natural sages, guides, and storytellers. The challenge is to assume they already know everything. Saturn in Sagittarius demands intellectual discipline and responsibility for one's beliefs. These natives must learn to test their principles and ground their perspective. Saturn provides structure to the mind and supports long-term study, research, and teaching. Uranus in Sagittarius brings radical ideas, innovative perspectives, and sudden leaps in knowledge. These natives break mental barriers, innovative in teach or academia. Neptune in Sagittarius adds idealism, spiritual curiosity, and visionary imagination. These natives sense the meaning behind events and are drawn to mystical or philosophical studies. The challenge is distinguishing truth from illusion. Pluto in Sagittarius adds intense conviction, transformative philosophy, and the power to influence collective beliefs. These individuals question systems, expose dogma, and reshape cultural narratives. North Node in Sagittarius encourages truth-seeking, exploration, teaching, and expanding world view. Southern Node in Gemini must release overthinking, gossip, and fragmented information to embrace knowledge with purpose. Ascendant in Sagittarius is bold, open-minded, humorous, and driven by purpose. Partners bring growth, honesty, and adventure. Midheaven in Sagittarius, careers in teaching, law, travel, publishing, or philosophy. Imum Coeli Sagittarius, childhood shaped by movement, ideas, or belief systems. Lot of fortune in Sagittarius, success through teaching, traveling, inspiring others, and pursuing truth. The second decan of Sagittarius is ruled by Moon. Here, Sagittarius is sensitive, intuitive, and emotionally engaged with experiences. The Moon adds emotional depth to exploration, making travel, relationships, and spiritual quests heartfelt and meaningful. What are the traits? Emotionally responsive to new experiences, strong intuition and empathy, deep attachment to meaning journeys, nurturing in teaching or guiding others. They need to learn to connect emotionally while exploring physically and mentally, and to not let emotions overrule judgment or over-investment in people or places. This second decan ruled by Moon is between 11 and 20 degrees. Let's see how the planets are working in this decan. Sun in Sagittarius expresses identity through emotion, intuition, empathy, and a deep hunger for meaning. In the Moon's decan, the Sun becomes softer, more nurturing, more inclined toward inner truth rather than external adventure. These people radiate warmth, emotional intelligence, and a natural gift for comforting or encouraging others. Their purpose shines when they uplift people through knowledge and compassion. The challenge is balancing emotional sensitivity with Sagittarian bluntness. Moon in Sagittarius rules this decan, producing individuals with restless feelings, heightened intuition, and emotional expansiveness. They crave inspiration, movement, and experiences that open the heart. Their mood changes with their sense of freedom. Too much restriction creates anxiety or emotional burnout. They process feelings through storytelling, teaching, and searching for higher meaning. Emotional life is tied to a quest, a lifelong journey of learning, wandering, and seeking spiritual truth. Mercury Sagittarius expresses itself through intuitive thinking, philosophical reflection, and emotionally infused communication. Words carry warmth, passion, and vision. These natives learn through personal experience and emotional resonance rather than technical details. The challenge is avoiding exaggeration or speaking from emotion rather than fact. Venus in Sagittarius blends romantic warmth, generosity, and emotional adventure. Relationships thrive when both partners feel emotionally free to explore, grow, and express inner truth. Love is idealistic, passionate, and often tied to travel, culture, or shared belief systems. The challenge is maintaining consistency. Mars in Sagittarius acts with emotional fire, impulsive courage, and movement motivated by instinct. Their actions respond directly to how they feel in the moment. When inspired, they are unstoppable. When bored, their energy evaporates. This placement favors athletes, dancers, coaches, and individuals who channel raw emotions into action. Jupiter in Sagittarius expand intuition, empathy, and emotional wisdom. These people make exceptional counselors, guides, mentors, and spiritual teachers. They grow through meaningful emotional experiences and inspire others through heartfelt storytelling. The challenge is to over-identifying with a belief or ideal. Saturn in Sagittarius demands emotional maturity, steady beliefs, and responsibility for one's philosophical stance. These people learn to stabilize their internal world through structure and discipline. Saturn strengthens emotional resilience and provides a solid foundation for personal truth. Uranus in Sagittarius brings emotional awakening, sudden insights, and the need to break free from restrictive emotional patterns. These natives challenge traditional beliefs and pursue unconventional paths to emotional fulfillment. Neptune in Sagittarius adds mystical longing, spiritual imagination, and idealistic emotional vision. These natives are dreamers, poets, and seekers who perceive emotional meaning beyond the surface. The challenge is maintaining clarity and boundaries. Pluto in Sagittarius adds emotional intensity, transformative beliefs, and deep inner power. These people undergo profound psychological shifts and tend to influence others with their emotional vision and philosophical depth. North in Sagittarius encourages moving toward emotional growth through exploration, truth seeking, and authentic expression. Southern Node in Gemini must release mental noise, superficial analysis, and emotional detachment. Ascendant in Sagittarius is empathetic, intuitive, open-hearted, with a warm presence. The Ascendant in Sagittarius relations catalyze emotional growth and expansion. Midheaven in Sag, careers in teaching, psychology, healing, travel, and philosophy. Imum Coeli in Sag, this is the shortcut for Sagittarius, childhood shaped by beliefs, stories, and emotional journeys. Lot of Fortune in Sag suggests success flows through emotional insight, intuition, and meaningful connection. The third decan of Sagittarius is ruled by Saturn, between 21 and 30 degrees. Saturn brings structure, discipline, and focus. These Sag are strategic planners, long-term thinkers, and patient achievers who combine adventure with responsibility. They are methodical and disciplined, long-term vision and planning, serious, reflective, and responsible, balances optimism with practical realism. And they need to learn to pursue freedom and knowledge with patience and structure, to not let fear, cautious, or over-responsibility block their growth. So let's see how the planets are working in this third decan ruled by Saturn for Sagittarius placement. The Sun in Sagittarius expresses identity through structured wisdom, philosophical discipline, and mature truth-seeking. In Saturn's decan, the fiery Sagittarian impulse becomes more focused, responsible, and self-controlled. These natives want to master knowledge, not just explore it. Their purpose shines through teaching, leadership, moral integrity, and long-term goals. The challenge is avoiding rigidity or moral absolutism. Moon in Sagittarius becomes emotionally disciplined and self-governing. Feelings are filtered through logic, structure, and a deep need to stay in control. Emotional growth comes through accepting vulnerability and allowing life to unfold without over-regulating it. Their inner world is vast but carefully ordered, like a library built over decades. This is a decan of emotional endurance and quiet strength. Mercury in Sagittarius expresses serious thoughts, measured speech, and a philosophical analytical style. Ideas are tested before being shared. These native think in big, long-term frameworks: history, religion, ethics, culture, politics. Their mind is systematic and strategic. The challenge is resisting dogmatism or dismissing new perspectives too quickly. Venus in Sagittarius expresses devotion, loyalty, and long-term relational values. Love here is committed, principled. They want a partner who shares their moral code, ambitions, and worldview. Affection growth through shared growth, stability, and building something meaningful together. The challenge is losing expectations of perfection. Mars in Sagittarius acts with strategic fire, discipline, courage, and endurance under pressure. Unlike the impulsive Sagittarian stereotype, this decan moves with purpose and direction. These people excel in physically demanding or long-term endeavors, martial arts, leadership roles, intense academic pursuits. The challenge is burnout from pushing too hard for too long. Jupiter in Sagittarius expands structure, wisdom, ethical clarity, and mastery of knowledge. This placement creates scholars, philosophers, judges, teachers, and leaders who work with long-term vision. Growth comes through education, discipline, and building a solid foundation for one's truth. The challenge is avoiding arrogance wrapped in "I know better." Saturn in Sagittarius rules this decan and expresses a responsibility for truth, mastery of philosophy, and disciplined belief. This is the sage, the scholar, the elder, the one who earns wisdom through perseverance and experience. Life teaches through long journeys, challenging lessons, and deep ideological refinement. These people may mature early and tend to become authorities in their field. Uranus in Sagittarius expresses radical philosophical breakthroughs. Wrapped in discipline and structure, innovation comes through systems, reforms, and rebuilding old beliefs in a new way. They challenge authority while also becoming authority. Neptune in Sagittarius brings structure, spiritual insight, discipline, imagination, and a grounded mystical lens. These people blend intuition with responsibility, creating healers, spiritual teachers, or artists with a sense of duty to their message. Pluto in Sagittarius adds profound ideological power, transformative beliefs, and intense moral conviction. These natives influence collective truth, often becoming catalysts for sweeping cultural or technological change. North Node in Sagittarius points toward a life path of discipline, truth, integrity, and philosophical mastery. South Node in Gemini must release overthinking, superficial knowledge, and scattered attention. Ascendant in Sagittarius, structured presence, wise or serious demeanor, principled self-expression. Descendant in Sagittarius, partnerships built on loyalty, ethics, and shared long-term goals. Midheaven in Sagittarius, careers in law, academia, government, religion, leadership, or global strategy. Imum Coeli in Sagittarius, a childhood shaped by belief systems, rules, and the need to earn emotional respect. Lot of Fortune in Sagittarius, success through discipline, integrity, and commitment to one great purpose. So, look in your natal chart, see where do you have Sagittarius, and see also if you have planets or important points or lot of fortune in Sagittarius, at what degree and in which decan. I'm waiting your comments and questions down below. Until next time, I wish you all the best. Bye bye.